If you're thinking about buying a house right here in Houston, Texas, then you're going to want to stick around because today I'm going over the top 6 mistakes that home buyers buy or make on a daily basis. And it doesn't matter if you're a seasoned home buyer or someone who's bought 10 plus homes. These mistakes happen to the best of them. And with that being said, I'm also going to be telling you how to avoid making these mistakes when buying a home here in the Houston area. And these mistakes, they cost you time, they cost you money, and more importantly, they cause so much stress, and we do not need any more of that in the crazy lives that we live. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the first mistake. Now, before I tell you, you wouldn't want to stick around for number 5 and number 6 because these are the ones that are the most commonly made and the ones that cost you the most money years down the road. So again, you're not going to want to miss those. But mistake number 1 is ignoring the market trends here in Houston. Now, this is kind of a nationwide mistake. Don't matter where you go, each market has their own trends. And when buying a home in those markets, you're going to want to pay attention because it doesn't matter if the home prices are rising or falling, if the interest rates are rising or falling. These trends are so important, and they're unique, and they're ever changing day in and day out. And the reason why these are important is because when you decide to buy that home and you go to put an offer in, you're going to want to come up with a strategic plan, negotiation wise, on how you're going to buy this home to save you the most money. And again, paying attention to these trends is extremely important. And the way to avoid it is honestly just stop listening to the national news and get local insight on what's going on in that market. So for example, here in Houston, you're going to want local insight on what the Houston market is doing, because Houston and Miami are 2 totally different markets. Okay, so that brings us to mistake number 2. And mistake number 2 is one that I don't quite understand, but it happens way too often. Way too often, guys, and that's skipping the pre-approval process. Now, the pre-approval process is important in many different ways, but it is a game changer to have and to do on the front end of things. And here's why. 1, when you're looking at homes, whether new construction or resale, it is going to show the buyer or the seller that not only are you serious, but you're also financially able to buy that home. And they're going to take your offer, your negotiations a whole lot more serious. Okay, and that is, like I said, game changer. Okay, and on top of this, just going into the buying process, especially for first-time home buyers or somebody who might be buying their second home, this is going to give you insight on your financials, on exactly how much you can afford, to make sure you don't go over that 28% of your budget. There's a 28% rule that I like to use. You don't want to be paying more than 28% on your mortgage. So again, trust me, this is a game changer. This is something you're going to want to have, because believe me, if you find that home and you want to put an offer in and you don't have that pre-approval, you're going to lose out on that house, because somebody else who does have that has that pre-approval is going to come in, put an offer in, and that seller is going to take that buyer a whole lot more serious. So again, pre-approval, you're going to want to get it on the front end. It's actually one of the first things that I recommend doing after reaching out to a local real estate agent like myself. So moving into step number 3, and before I tell you this one, I do want to let you know, I had mentioned real estate agents. If you are looking to move right here or buy a home right here in the Houston area, feel free to reach out to me. You can call, text, or email, and there's a link in the description below for you to fill out so I can call you. I am a Houston real estate agent, and I can help you make a move right here in the Houston area smooth and seamlessly whenever it is that you're looking to move. So with that being said, reach out. I'd be more than happy to help. But step number 3, and it is honestly 3 is probably just as important as any of the, probably one of the more important ones, and it is overlooking Houston's weather. And this is super common, guys, because I get these questions all the time about hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding, everything. People ask all the time. Okay, Houston is right off the Gulf of Mexico, so we do have hurricanes, we do have some flooding, and to be completely honest, you're going to want to protect your investment, because no matter what, you're buying a home, whether you're living in it or not, this is an investment into your future. Okay, one day you're going to sell it, and you're going to turn and sell it for $100,000 more, $50,000 more. It's an investment. You're going to want to protect it. Okay, so short answers here. It does flood. We do get hurricanes. Tornadoes happen once in a blue moon, okay? And storms, they come out of nowhere and they just happen, okay? But guess what? The best thing to do is be prepared. I have a generator at the house. It's portable. I have to pull it out of my garage. But when we lose power, I plug that bad boy in and I have power. I'm not in a flood zone. Honestly, even with this latest hurricane that we just had, nowhere near did we become or get any type of flooding. Again, it's just, I didn't want to be in the flood zone, so I didn't. I bought outside of one, just like you can, okay? And on tornadoes, it doesn't matter where you live, these things happen, to include tornadoes. So again, you can't predict them, they just happen, okay? I've lived here 3 years, I've never seen one with my own eye, supposedly. And again, it was like a moment thing. Supposedly a tornado touched down here in Cyprus, right outside of Houston, a few months ago. Again, I didn't see it. You really don't hear anyone talking about it. Didn't do any damage that I know of. So yeah. So with that being said, just being prepared. Everywhere you move, everywhere you live, you have your own issues. If you live in Wyoming, you're going to have the cold issues, or Colorado, wherever the case. You have issues just like Houston. So moving into 4, and this is one that, again, super common, and you really don't know it, that it causes you stress and it costs you money until you do the complete opposite of doing this, and that's hiring a local realtor just like myself. And I'm not saying this because I am one. Look, you can reach out to me and I can help you move seamlessly here in the Houston area, anywhere around Houston, or you cannot reach out to me and I can't help you. But with that being said, Houston's market is so unique, okay? And that local insight, guess what? We look at houses every day, inside and out. We know the market. We know what the interest rates are doing. We know what's going on, okay? And some of us specialize in certain areas, and whatever the case, we know what's going on, okay? So with that being said, hire a realtor, because we know how to negotiate. It's something that we do all the time, and we know the local regulations. We know to build a reputation. We know, different negotiation strategies, and that is what's going to save you money, okay? So rather you're selling a house, and this is even for the sellers, even hire a realtor, because we're going to save you time. We're going to save you more money and headaches. Buying a house is a huge headache, with or without us. We're just going to make that headache a little bit smaller, okay? So hire a realtor. It's a lot easier. I've actually had people tell me like, hey, we wasn't thinking about hiring one, and then we hired you, and was so happy you did. Just like I said, hire one. It's going to help you out, okay? So number 5, this is one that caused people so much headache and so much money, and I'm really happy you stuck around to this point, because the next 2, 5 and 6 are the biggest ones, the biggest money wasters, headache causers, whatever you want to call them. They are huge, okay? Absolutely massive. So skipping the inspection process. I don't know why, but people, for whatever reason, they want to skip this inspection. I always recommend it. Always get a third-party inspection on any house that you buy, and here's why, okay? And yes, even new construction. Just because it's a brand new house doesn't mean it doesn't have issues. Humans build those houses, and humans make mistakes. So with that being said, always get a third-party inspector. I did, and I'm happy I did. So homes, again, are massive pieces of designs, and anything can happen, from holes in the roof, AC units going bad, foundation cracks. Just the list is massive, guys. And when you're buying this home, like I said earlier, the largest investment that you are going to make, and you're going to want to protect that investment, and you're going to want to make the right decision on that investment to make sure you're profitable, if you will, in the future, right? So when you're buying this home, you're going to want to make sure you're not buying a home with bad AC, a leaky roof, foundation that cracks. You're going to want to buy a house that is, doesn't really have that many issues, okay? So that way, 4, 3 years down the road, you're not having to replace ACs, roofs, whatever the case, right? this is going to save you money. Okay, now with that being said, just because you get an inspection doesn't mean that your AC won't go out in a year. Okay, but it helps you kind of foresee some of the issues that you might run into further down the road. And even with new construction, a lot of times these builders build homes, but they don't grade the lots correctly, and then that water sets beside the foundation, and then eventually it makes it shift, makes it crack, and guess what? Now you have foundation issues in a brand new home that you just bought 2 years ago. You're not going to want those issues. Okay, so again, I cannot stress this enough. Get an inspection. Depending on the size of the home, it's anywhere from $300 plus. I think the largest one I've seen is like $700, and that was on a rather large home. So again, get an inspection. It doesn't cost that much, and it's going to save you so much more money than $700 or $300. It's going to save you money. Okay. So getting into the very last mistake, and this is huge. I have seen this cost people tens of thousands of dollars. I have seen this cost people a lot of headache and honestly a lot of time. Okay, and it's kind of a big mistake, and you don't even realize that you've made it until 4, 5, 10 years down the road. Okay, and with that being said, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you are looking to know more about the Houston area and more about the process on buying a home and everything home buying. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, click that notification bell, so that way I can help you and teach you in everything Houston, Texas. Now, number 6 is failing to plan for resale. And what that means is when you buy this house today, tomorrow, whenever, you fail to think 5, 10 years down the road. Okay, one day you're going to resell that home. And I know what some of you are thinking, man, we're buying our forever home. We are never going to sell it. Guess what? I've heard a lot of people say that, and I've heard a lot of people say, well, we said that, and now we're selling our home. And even if you don't sell your home, one of these days, your kids are going to have to turn around and sell that home when you pass away, whatever the case may be, right? So someday that home is going to have to be sold. So you're going to want to think through the resale side of things. And what that looks like. Think about the location, the property condition, the neighborhood growth. Is the neighborhood new? Is it kind of on the end of its life? What's going on in the neighborhood? All of those things, all right? The development outside the neighborhood. Are they building a new HEB, playgrounds, Six Flags, whatever the case may be? What are they doing around the neighborhood? Those things are really going to affect your home value, so on and so forth. And with that, taking all these factors into consideration is going to put you or your family member in a strong position to sell that home one day. And again, it's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of headache, but what it's going to do is it's going to save you money. Okay, and I want to give you an example of this because I'm actually dealing with this as we speak. I have a client who went in, her and her husband bought in a neighborhood, and they bought the biggest of the baddest houses. It is a beautiful home, it is the largest home, and it is the most updated home. And that does not sound bad, right? And in the moment, it wasn't for them. They were so excited. They bought this home, and they lived happily ever after. Wrong. Today, they are trying to sell this home, and they are not going to get what they want out of it, and honestly, what they deserve. Because, number one, the community has peaked. No one is buying homes that price in this community, and I've seen a lot of homes getting decreased on the selling side of things, and just again, they're not going to get what they want. Honestly, in my opinion, they're going to lose about $30,000-$40,000 on the sale, and there's nothing I can do about it. Now, with that, I'm not against testing waters and trying, so we're going to try to get the money's worth out of it. But we have a plan B in place just in case. But because they bought the biggest and baddest, they didn't think through the resale side of things. The realtor didn't help them think through the resale side of things. They are possibly going to lose money, and that's not good, and none of us want to do that. And this goes anywhere from like lot size and location, just so many different factors to think about. But if you hire a good realtor, they will help you walk through these things and point out the good and the bad of the home that you're looking to buy. So So there you have it. That is just top 6 mistakes that I see home buyers make on a day-to-day basis right here in Houston. And again, majority of these mistakes can be avoided if you hire a really good realtor, which isn't a hard thing to do. So with that being said, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and comment down below, what mistakes have you made that might not be on this list? But if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and click this one. I'm sure you will enjoy it. But until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.